You make me optimistic about our future. So as you prepare for the next stage of what I know will be a remarkable journey, I'll leave you with a few quick pieces of advice for what they're worth. First, do what you think is right, not just what's convenient or what's expected or what's easy. While you have this time, think about the values that matter to you the most. Too many graduates who feel the pressure to immediately start running that race for success skip the step of asking themselves what's really important. And too often they end up as adults who only do what's good for them and say to heck with everybody else, and they end up not having a lot of meaningful relationships or not really feeling as if they made a serious contribution to the world. I hope that instead you decide to moor yourself in values that last, like responsibility, fairness, generosity, and respect for others. That will make you part of the solution instead of part of the problem. Second, listen to each other, respect each other, and use all that critical thinking you've developed from your education to help promote the truth. You are the internet generation and the social media generation. As a generation that understands social media and technology a lot better than anyone, it's going to be up to you to create online cultures and communities that respect differences of opinion and freedom of speech, and also restore the kind of honest, informed, fact-based debate that is the starting point for tackling the challenges we face. Now, as was true for generations before you, graduation marks your final passage into adulthood, the time when you're expected to fully take charge of your life's direction. It's when you get to decide what's important to you, the career you want to pursue, the values you want to live by, who you want to build a family with. That can be intimidating even under normal circumstances. And given the current state of things, let's face it, it can be downright scary. It's fair to say that your generation is graduating into a world that faces more profound challenges than any generation in decades. It can feel like everything's up for grabs right now. A lot of this uncertainty is the direct result of COVID-19. The 100,000 lives it's taken from us, the economic disruption it's caused. But, it will eventually end. The economy will begin to heal and life will start returning to normal. And you'll still have your whole life ahead of you. The thing is,
our nations are strongest when we see that we are all God's children, all equal in His eyes and worthy of His love. Across our two great countries, we have Hindus and Muslims, Christians and Sikhs and Jews and Buddhists and Jains and so many faiths.
What these past few weeks have also shown us is that the challenges we face go well beyond a virus, and that the old normal wasn't good enough. It wasn't working that well. In a lot of ways, the pandemic just brought into focus problems that have been growing for a very long time. They remind us that we can't take things for granted. We have to work to make things better. They remind us that our individual well-being depend on the well-being of the community that we live in. And it doesn't matter how much money you make if everyone around you is hungry and sick. It reminds you that our country and our democracy only function when we think not just about ourselves, but also about each other. So, as scary and uncertain as these times may be, they are also a wake-up call, and they're an incredible opportunity for your generation. Because you don't have to accept what was considered normal before. You don't have to accept the world as it is. You can make it into the world as it should be and could be. You can create a new normal, one that is fairer and gives everybody opportunity and treats everyone equally and builds bridges between people instead of dividing them. Finally, even if it all seems broken, have faith in our democracy. Participate and vote. Don't fall for the easy cynicism that says nothing can change, or that there's only one way to bring about change. We can emerge from our current circumstances stronger than before, better than before. But as has always been true at key moments in history, it's going to depend on young people like you to go out there and rewrite what is possible.
Your Constitution begins with the pledge to uphold the dignity of the individual, and our Declaration of Independence proclaims that all men are created equal. In both our countries, generations have worked to live up to these ideals.
I wish that my generation had done more to solve some of our country's big problems, so you didn't have to. But the good news is that I know you're up to the challenge. You are the best educated generation in history, and a whole lot more technologically savvy. You've been exposed to more knowledge and perspectives than my generation ever was. You're more tolerant, empathetic, entrepreneurial, environmentally conscious. If you've always dreamed of starting your own business, go build a company that is a model for paying its workers a fair wage. If you've dreamed always of being a doctor, think about working in a community that's short on doctors. There are so many ways to serve. The important thing is to recognize that this nation needs your talents, your passions, your voice to make it better. Bit by bit, generation by generation, we've made progress, from cleaning up our air and water, to creating programs that lifted millions of seniors out of poverty, to winning the right to vote, and to marry who you love. None of these changes happened overnight, or without sustained effort, but they did happen.
Indians and Americans, equal and free.
Usually because young people marched and slowly changed hearts and minds. America changed, has always changed, because young people dared to hope. Democracy isn't about relying on some charismatic leader to make changes from on high. It's about finding hope in ourselves and creating it in others. You don't always need hope when everything's going fine. It's when things seem darkest. That's when you need it the most. Someone once said, hope is not a lottery ticket. It's a hammer for us to use in a national emergency, to break the glass, sound the alarm, and sprint into action. That's what hope is. It's not the blind faith that things will get better. It's the conviction that with effort and perseverance and courage and a concern for others, things can get better.
My confidence in what our nations can achieve together is rooted in the values that we share. For we may have our different histories and speak different languages, but when we look at each other, we see a reflection of ourselves. As I've said many times, I believe that the relationship between India and the United States can be one of the defining partnerships of the century. Together, we have met great challenges. But as we enter this new chapter in our shared history, profound challenges stretch out before us. In a world where the prosperity of all nations is now inextricably Thank you very much, everybody. God bless you.